I don't know when exactly I hit rock bottom, but I remember the night I almost gave up. My fridge had 1 bottle of water, 2 slices of bread, and I hadn't paid rent in 3 months. My phone buzzed constantly with job rejection emails. Friends stopped answering my calls. Family had already given up hope a long time ago. I used to be ambitious. I had dreams, big ones. I wanted to build something, be someone. But after years of trying and failing, I started to believe maybe I was the problem. I was exhausted. I sat on my broken couch that night, staring at the ceiling in the dark. I actually whispered, I'd give anything, just for one chance, just one break. And then, no joke, my phone lit up. It was a strange message. No number, no contact name, just one line. How badly do you want it? At first, I thought it was a scam, some AI bot or spammer. But my hands were shaking. Something about that message felt different, almost like it knew. I stared at the screen for a full minute. Then I typed back, more than anything. I hit send, and that's when everything changed. After I hit send, nothing happened at first. I figured it was just some weird moment. Maybe I was too tired, maybe I imagined it. But the next morning, I woke up to an email. Subject line, let's talk terms. There was no sender, no return address. Just a calendar link and a 1-word note. Midnight. Now look, I'm not superstitious. I don't believe in ghosts or devils or anything like that. But something in my gut said, this wasn't normal. Still, I clicked the link. It led to a video call. Exactly at midnight, the screen flickered to life, but there was no face, just a silhouette, like a shadow sitting in front of a flame. The voice that came through wasn't scary. It was calm, almost kind. You asked for a break, the voice said. I can give it to you, but success comes with sacrifice. I asked what kind of sacrifice. The figure didn't answer. It just said, sign the contract and everything you've been chasing will find you. I looked down, and somehow there was a contract open on my screen. My name was already filled in. It was simple, just a checkbox and one sentence. In exchange for success, I give up what holds me back. I hesitated. What did that mean? Was it time, comfort, fear, my pride? Then I thought about all the jobs I didn't get, all the people who gave up on me, all the nights I cried on that couch alone. I checked the box. The screen went black. No thank you, no confirmation. But the next day, an old friend I hadn't talked to in years texted me out of the blue. Said his company needed someone fast. He remembered I used to design websites. Asked if I could start that week. It didn't feel real. 1 week later, I had a full-time contract, steady income, even benefits. For the first time in years, I felt like I was winning. But then, little things started happening. My dog, Buddy, who had always followed me around, suddenly avoided me. I started waking up in the middle of the night, heart racing, like someone was watching me. And that calm voice from the call? I started hearing it in my dreams, sometimes whispering things I couldn't quite remember in the morning. I got what I wanted, but something told me I didn't understand what I gave up. Success didn't just knock, it kicked the door in. 2 weeks after the deal, I was working with 3 new clients, then 5. Then I had to turn people away. My inbox turned into a gold mine, one opportunity after another. It felt like I had leveled up overnight. I moved out of that rundown apartment and into a downtown loft with exposed brick and huge windows, the kind of place I used to walk past and dream about. I was sleeping better, eating better. I finally felt seen, validated, like all the pain had been worth it. But in the middle of all that success, strange things kept happening. Once during a Zoom call, I saw something move in the background of my screen. I was alone. Another night, I checked my bank account after a big client payment cleared, and there was more money in there than expected, like way more. I called the bank. They said it was correct. That should have made me feel lucky. Instead, it made my skin crawl. Then I started seeing people, random strangers, staring at me on the street. Not in a weird way, just still, silent, like they were waiting for something. One even smiled at me like they knew me. I asked my friend about it during lunch. He laughed it off, but here's where it got really weird. My ex, the one who left me when I was at my lowest, called me out of nowhere. Said she'd been thinking about me, that she'd made a mistake. We met for coffee, and I could tell she meant it. She even cried. Everything I used to wish for was suddenly lining up perfectly, but it didn't feel like winning anymore. It felt like a setup. It felt too perfect. Like I was walking through a life someone else had built, not one I earned. And then one night I found a note taped to my front door. There was no handwriting, just printed words. You're doing well, keep going. But remember, you checked the box. I stood there, frozen. Nobody knew about that checkbox. Nobody. I hadn't told a soul. That's when it hit me. Whatever deal I made, I wasn't the one running it anymore. And the cost? I had a bad feeling I was about to find out. After I found that note on my door, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. Not just in the paranoid sense. I mean literally. Mirrors reflecting shadows that weren't mine. Security cameras glitching when I walked by. My smart speaker turning on at night and whispering static. Still, I told myself I was just overthinking it. Until my best friend Jamie stopped talking to me. No warning, no fight, just gone. I called, texted, even showed up at his place. Nothing. But one night I got a voicemail from a blocked number. It was Jamie's voice, but shaky, panicked. He said, "I don't know what you did, but something's wrong with you. You're not the same. Your eyes, they weren't yours." Click. I listened to it 10 times. What did he mean? My eyes? That's when I looked at myself in the mirror, and for a split second, I swear I saw someone else looking back. Same face, same body. But the expression? It wasn't mine. It was calm, cold, like it was watching me from inside. I slammed the mirror. That night, I couldn't sleep. I sat on the floor with all the lights on, scrolling through every email, every message, trying to find answers. And then I remembered something. The contract. It said I had to give up what held me back. At first, I thought that meant laziness or fear. But what if it meant people? What if it meant me? Every person who cared about me had started disappearing. And the version of me that was succeeding, that wasn't really me. It was the person I became after the deal. Ambitious, confident, unstoppable, but empty. That's when I realized I didn't just trade my struggle for success. I traded my soul for a version of myself that didn't need anyone. And the worst part? It was working. I knew I had to end it. Whatever I'd become, whatever this deal had turned me into, it wasn't me anymore. I was surrounded by everything I used to dream about, but I'd never felt so alone, so hollow. So I went back to the beginning. I pulled up that old message thread, the one with no number, the one that started it all. It was still there. I typed, "I want out." No response. I typed again, "You can keep the success. I want myself back." Still nothing. Then my screen flickered. A new message popped up. Just 3 words. "Then take it." Suddenly, my apartment went black. Total silence. I stood frozen, heart pounding, when I noticed my reflection in the dark window. But again, it wasn't moving like me. It smiled and whispered, "You sure you're ready to lose everything?" I didn't answer. I didn't have to, because the next morning it was all gone. Clients dropped me. My bank account froze. My ex blocked me again. The downtown loft? Evicted in 3 days. Everything vanished. Except, I felt something I hadn't felt in months. Relief. A strange, quiet kind of peace, like I could finally breathe again. I moved back into a smaller place. Nothing fancy. Just enough. I started reaching out to old friends. Some replied, some didn't. Jamie and I eventually talked. It was awkward, but real. I told him I wasn't proud of who I'd been, that I got lost chasing something that didn't love me back. He nodded, said, "We all want a shortcut sometimes. But man, not everyone walks away from one." And that's when it hit me. The devil in the deal? It wasn't a person. It wasn't some demon in the dark. It was me, the desperate, broken version of me that thought success was worth everything. The real trick was convincing myself I could buy happiness without being whole. But I learned something. You don't need to sell your soul to make it. You just need to stop believing that pain is the price for being seen. So yeah, I made a deal with the devil. And walking away? That was the real win.